guys, what's going on? Rickard here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now, in today's video, I will discuss red flags for women when you're dating in real life. But before I do, if you like this content, please give it a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and smash that bell notification so that you can get notified whenever I upload new videos here on my YouTube channel. And in this video, I share a couple of red flags for women, which are mostly focused on dating in real life and not so much online dating. So I will cover the dating red flags for women, the dating red flags in a man, the dating red flags to look for in a man. I do have a checklist on my blog, which I will share on this video. And it is a red flags checklist. So if you want that, click the first link in the description below and go to my blog so you can get that checklist, because I know you will appreciate that one as well. If you know about somebody who needs to know this information, please share it. And if you want to get the latest and greatest news from me whenever I upload new videos on YouTube, or whenever I publish new content on my blog, you know what to do. Click the second link in the description below and subscribe to my 100% free newsletter, and I will even give you a free gift as my way of saying thanks to you. And of course, if you want to leave a comment, you're more than welcome to do so. So what are the dating red flags that you should be aware of as a woman? Well, you see, one of the biggest issues that is a real dating red flag for a woman is whether the man can apologize or if he is too cool for that. As a man myself, let me be clear here. A real man does know when he should apologize to you and are mindful that it does not hurt your feelings or emotions. And he always considers that before he opens his mouth. He does offer his sincere apology to you when he realizes that he overstepped your boundaries for what is acceptable and not. If he lacks this ability, then you know it's a red flag. A simple but honest and heartfelt "I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I apologize for hurting you. It was not my intention" goes a long way, right? If you agree, you can give this video a like below, or right now, actually. I will share a couple of other dating red flags as well. Now, that was just one dating red flag that you should be on the lookout for in a man you're dating or in a relationship with. Other red flags in a man that you need to be aware of are if he lacks the necessary communication skills. The man you are dating is very mindful of his phone and social media. He is disrespectful and condescending against you. His humor is a little bit too biting and too sarcastic to be fun. He wants to change you. He takes himself too seriously. Now that's a big issue, which I will talk a little bit more about quite soon. You catch him lying, and when you do, he continues to lie to you. There is only one person in the relationship, and that person is him. He doesn't care about your emotions. Whenever you want to bring up something serious, he jokes about it until you give up and forget about it. If he behaves like a complete jerk, that is another red flag that you should be on the lookout for, since that behavior will probably increase over time. And I will say here something that I don't share in my article, and it's that a jerk is always a jerk, ladies. And now I will discuss everything that I talked about in a little bit more detail here. So the first one is, of course, if he lacks the necessary communication skills. Admittedly, women aren't always as talkative and easy to communicate with as women wish sometimes. I do acknowledge that, and something I also admit. However, in the beginning, everything moves smoothly, but after a while, you will suffer from the unavoidable communication breakdown, and that's when things get really interesting, and it will tell you whether it's a red flag or not. Now, it is natural when you run out of things to talk about that the communication starts to be a little bit less frequent and a little bit harder than in the beginning when everything is new and fun and interesting. However, if he has learned how to deal with it and re-engage himself in the communication and talk about a lot of different things, as long as he's not bullying you or is outright mean to you, there is still hope for the relationship unless he begins to threaten you with a breakup or talks passive-aggressive to you and say things like, John broke up with his girlfriend because she was so hard on him. It might happen to you too, unless you put your act together. If he does speak to you in that tone, that's a certain red flag. Another red flag to look for in a man is if he always looks at his phone. If a man you're dating or in a relationship with always is looking at his phone, that's another red flag. Men who are always looking on their phone typically falls into either one of two categories. The first category is if he's a social media junkie who can't put away his phone and have a normal conversation between two human beings. The other category is if he is talking to other women while he is on a date with you or in a relationship with you. And trust me, ladies, you don't want a relationship with either one of those guys because they're not worth your time. And if you want more information, I do share how you can identify a cheater on my blog. And I do that in the article, and I leave a link to it, and it's the first one below. And if you want all the updates, click the second link in the description below. And subscribe to my newsletter. The third dating red flag I want to discuss here is if he is disrespectful and condescending against you. Let's face it, ladies, no one deserves to be with someone who continually is criticizing you, always complaining and are still negative around you. Remember that if he is a negative Nemo or negative Nathan, he will never treat you respectfully. It might become even worse when you become more serious, and he might also start to patronize you. A relationship where one person is giving the other person critique and only shares negative comments like, "You're fat, you should consider dieting," is unhealthy himself, because it is very hurtful, and a man who is like that will never appreciate you for the truly fantastic woman that you are. Now, I'm always an advocate for positive, healthy relationships that brings you up, but I'm always against relationships that wears you down. Remember that negativity will only bring more negativity into your life, and that's as true as the other way around. What should you do if his humor is too biting and too sarcastic to be sound? Well, a little bit of sarcasm every now and then, or a joke that is biting can be a sign of a guy with a lot of self-distance to himself. However, it's a totally different thing if he's always like that. Then that's a certain red flag that things might not be well with him, or like the one I described just a while ago, that he is a negative person who lives on bullying and wearing you down and tearing you down piece by piece, and that makes him feel good, and that's not a person you should be with, period. Sharing humor, being a bit silly, and laugh at it is the hallmark of a sound relationship, ladies. However, if he makes jokes about things that are sensitive to you, it stops being funny and becomes rude, since it's never funny to make jokes on someone else's expense. Now, is it? It doesn't matter if it is you or your friends he's criticizing, since he's criticizing you either direct or indirectly. And it's not fun at all, because if he is criticizing your friends, then he is criticizing you indirectly. And if he's criticizing you to your face, then it's you he's criticizing directly, right? People who do that are insecure themselves. If you notice that he begins to be like that after a while, that's a definite red flag, and you need to move on and break up with him. Otherwise, he will never change, and chances are quite high that he never will, ladies. And then he doesn't deserve you, period. If he always complains and wants to change you while he thinks of himself as perfect as a human being can be, then it's a certain red flag. Remember this: a man who wants to change you from the get-go is not worthy of you or to be in a relationship with you, since it's a true sign of disrespect. Another red flag, and here's the sixth of them, is if he takes himself too seriously. And it's a really modern problem. There are a lot of people who take themselves too seriously, both men and women. If he thinks that he is the only person who knows anything about everything, it can be a potential red flag. He might not feel very well then. A man who can laugh about himself and has a bit of self-distance is rare. However, he is also more light-hearted and can laugh at his own expense and don't have any need to wear you down. That's a man who needs a woman just like you in his life. A man who takes himself too seriously, on the other hand, will never be able to do it, since he is busy figuring out the next step on how you can understand that he's more serious about life and everything. Now, here's a very big red flag, ladies, and this is the seventh one. You catch him lying, and he continues to do it, even when you caught him red-handed, and continues. Another red flag is a person who lies and does it without any problems. A small lie might be something you forgive. However, if he continues to do it and you catch him red-handed and he continues to lie to you, that is a definite red flag. That's the hallmark of a dishonest person, ladies. You don't want to be with a dishonest person. And it can be even worse, because if you catch him with a lie and he continues to tell you the same lie over and over again and start to claim that you remember things the wrong way, that's a clear sign that something is wrong and that you might be dating either a sociopath, a psychopath, or even a narcissist. And I share a lot about that on my blog. At least I share 3 different articles on my blog just about that. And trust me, that could be a blog on its own, those things. The eighth red flag that I want to talk about that you need to look for in a man that you're either dating or is in a relationship is if there is only one person in a relationship and that person is clearly not you. Now, it takes two to tango, as the old saying goes, or at least two to do the dating dance together. If he is not emotionally connected and committed to you, that's a certain red flag, ladies. Not all men are marriage material, just like not all women are marriage material either. Since some are just in a relationship with a woman like you because it feels right for him right now for his own selfish needs. A man who treats your relationship like that is not a keeper, ladies. He will become avoidant, and as soon as he thinks there is something better, he will leave you and probably put all the blame on you. It might actually be the best choice he has ever made. Not only will you be free to find a better man who treats you the right way, but he will regret it later on when he discovers that it was not as great as he thought it would be. However, if you think he is worth fighting for, there is one thing you can do, which I share on my blog. If you want to find it out, click the link in the description below, the first link, and scroll down to number 8 and click on that link. The ninth red flag I want to discuss is if he does not care about your emotions. A man who does not care about your emotions does not care about other people's feelings in general either. He's definitely not someone who deserves your company. My advice to you is to dump him as quickly as possible and move on, because you're better off without him. Trust me, ladies, it might hurt for some time, but you are much better off without him. And I will actually talk a little bit more about it in my article. So click the first link in the description below if you want to know more about it. And the last dating red in a man is whenever you want to bring up something serious, he starts joking about it. If a man never can discuss more serious thing, he's not serious about you or your relationship, and that is a red flag, or at least it should be. It also shows you that he's very insecure of himself. He does not want to talk about serious things because he is not sure whether he wants it or not. If he decides to pull away for a while, you should give him some space. By allowing him to think about it, he might just have thought of it, like an innocent flirt that became something he never expected, and he wants that time to really figuring out whether he wants to be with you or not. If you give him the time, he will get back to you when he is ready to commit to you. And on my blog, I share a lot of more information. I also share a little song that you really should think about. And I even make a reference to TLC's smash hit 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days in the blog. And then I share some dating red flags in a man, and it's a checklist, so be aware of those as well. And I will finally summarize it here and tell you that I hope you enjoyed it. And even if there are things that could be longer and talk more extensive about, I decided to cut it short because this video is pretty long already, and you should know that the checklist I'm sharing is good to know for every woman who is in a relationship or have started to dating someone right now, and you will find that in the first link in the description below, I should say. And I will also tell you that if you know of another woman who will benefit from knowing it, please share it with your friends by hitting that share button. And if you like this content and you're on my blog, please, if you're on YouTube, you're more than welcome to check out my comments and leave a comment there too. And also, if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, click the second link in the description below, and I will give you something for free. It's completely free, and that's just for me to show you how much I appreciate every single subscriber here. And you will also get the latest updates from me whenever I publish them, no matter if it's on my blog or here on YouTube. I wish you an amazing day. Take care, ladies, and I will see you in another video very shortly. Bye for now.